Greetings and salutations. I'm having espresso at 4:30 in the evening. R.I.P. my sleep. I am Adam Leach, and welcome to my channel.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
And today I bring you a review and song-by-song breakdown for the new album from the man himself, Sir Elton John. The Lockdown Sessions is a rather eclectic mix of tracks. It's kind of like a compilation, actually. Upon first glance, there are some quirks, but after the first listen and subsequent listens, I found quite a bit of interesting music on here, so let's break it down. This album opens with a song called Cold Heart, which is a remix of a previously released acoustic version of the same song. And this first track utilizes both the vocals and the lyrics from several classic Elton John songs, and it's remixed by the Australian dance music trio PNAU. PNAU utilizes the original synth part from the 1989 Elton John song Sacrifice as the base of the remix, while giving us a totally fresh dance rendition around it. I'm a fan of this song, and I'm not really sure which version I prefer, actually, because the acoustic is really nice, but the remix is pretty bumpin' too. I mean, with young Elton John vocals being utilized on this song, as well as the magic of a wonderful collaboration with Dua Lipa, the remix kind of gives us a taste of what prime-time Elton John might feel like if he were in his prime in 2021. Then we make our way into the second track of the album, titled Always Love You. This is a truly bizarre track. It almost feels like the Phantom of the Opera got stuck living in a trap house for too long. Young Thug. You know, though I'm not totally against his vibe and presence, I hardly feel like an auto-tune drenched line about making you squirt really fits the bill.
So romantic.
Nicki Minaj is a much better fit in my opinion, especially since she decides to sing for us, and I think it goes rather well actually. But overall, I kind of find the vibe of the song a little confusing. But from what I've heard from Elton on this track, it seems that that's kind of what he wanted from the producer. He specifically asked them to make it sound less Elton. I want to like it. There are moments where I think I almost might, and then my brain steps in and goes, no, this is too much. That then takes us into the track Learn to Fly, which is a collaboration with the group Surfaces, and it's a rather uplifting song with a message that has relevance for today. It's really laid back, with most of the song being taken up by a really lighthearted chorus. Nothing too complicated here. It definitely sounds more like a Surfaces song than an Elton John song. It's okay. It's not gonna be my most revisited track on the album. It kind of sounds like something that would play over the, you know, the barely audible low quality speakers in the waiting room at the dentist office while I fake read a 2-year-old Cosmo magazine waiting for the dentist to call me in to absolutely obliterate my mouth. That sounded so perverted. And then we have the song After All. This song is perfect. I don't know what else to tell you. It's perfect. I love it. I love it. From a songwriting perspective, it's just like incredibly pleasing to the ear. Charlie's smooth, over-processed pop vocals just fit perfectly with the vibe. I'm sure he had a major songwriting role in this.
Major songwriting.
And the effects on Elton's voice, it's the cherry on top of the sundae. I mean, when those punchy drums hit and he comes floating in from outer space with those vocal effects, I mean, I gotta go change my pants. And we get a key change like a proper love song would do. It's flawless. It's flawless. It's flawless. Then we get a song called Chosen Family, which is originally a single off of Rina Sawayama's Freshman project from 2020, but this version adds Elton John to it. The original song was actually really strong, but this one I think builds and expands even more on the magic that was already present in the first one, namely the fact that it has Elton John on it. We then move into The Pink Phantom. Yes, Elton John collaborated with the Gorillaz. Even though I've definitely not found myself wondering what a Gorillaz Elton John collaboration would sound like, this somehow is exactly what I would have imagined. I think Elton's vocal contribution is actually the weaker part of the track. There are other things in the track that stand out. Black is a nice fit for this song and expands it to feel even more stylistically diverse than it already is. It's a bizarre track, it really is, but it's a fun listen with this spacey, out of this atmosphere type of vibe to it. The keys are twinkling in the background to keep us grounded. It's definitely got heavy Gorillaz influence, so if you're a Gorillaz fan, you're probably gonna really enjoy this. But I think there's something to like for everybody. It's just kind of a bizarre track. Then we get into It's a Sin, the Global Reach mix. Let me get this straight. The Pet Shop Boys' 1987 synth pop hit, It's a Sin, needs no help. It doesn't need a remix, it holds up. But boy am I glad that this happened, because this is a bop. Elton teams up with Years and Years to give us a real nice modern interpretation of this song. It's a lot of fun. I kind of want to grab some body paint and some glow sticks and go to the club and dance like the world is gonna explode at midnight. I'm serious, the buttery smooth, like quivery vocals from the jump have you. I mean, there's like, honestly, there's serious Michael Jackson energy with the style of his voice, which makes sense why I love it so much. And paired with that haunting piano, you kind of want to sit back and wish that it never ends, but then the beat comes in and you're like, oh, never mind, we cool. They did it justice, they really did. Then we get a track that was actually on Metallica's 53 track album, The Metallica Blacklist. It's a cover of Nothing Else Matters. Boy, is there a lot happening here. Elton's on keys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad Smith is on drums, freaking Yo-Yo Ma is on the strings, Andrew Watt is on the guitar, and I think he's got a production credit as well. And Miley, she slays. Like, she slays the vocals. Like, this song is honestly perfect for her. It's at this point in the album where I began realizing, like, wow, this album went from being something upon first impression that I was kind of hesitant on, and now I'm realizing that it's kind of this bizarre amalgamation of musicians just showing off. The last few tracks kind of swept me off my feet, if I'm being honest. Hey, real quick, I just want to take 5 seconds to tell you, if you like the video, please hit like. It costs you nothing, it takes no time, and it really helps me out. Thank you, love you! We then get thrown into orbit. I mean, that's kind of a punny joke, but it kind of isn't at the same time. The transition is pretty rough. It's just jarring. The two songs couldn't possibly be any more different. That being said, Orbit is a groovy track. Elton teamed up with the singer-songwriter producer S.G. Lewis, and they give us this like modern disco type of jam that you can't help but dance to. I really like it. We then get a more country western inspired song called Simple Things, where Elton John works with Brandi Carlile. Now, Brandi isn't necessarily my speed. The country genre is really kind of out of my wheelhouse in terms of my taste. But even so, I actually really like this track. I mean, there's a lot to listen to. They got deep layered vocals, nice harmonies between Elton and Brandi throughout the song, tons of classic country western instruments and sounds, but tied up in a more classy and musically inspired package. And let's be honest, it's kind of a good fit for Elton. Even though he is English, he has always had this country western type of vibe in his voice. So this is perfectly within his wheelhouse, especially at his older age as his range has dropped. We then get another song with a country artist, Jimmie Allen, which this track is titled Beauty in the Bones. I don't love this one. The instrumental is fun, but it often just feels like a weird combination of pop, dance, and country written by a mega church's worship team or something. Not that this is a religious song, because it's not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the vibe of every modern Christian radio hit, like they all kind of sound similar. Well, this kind of has that same vibe. We then get into the song One of Me, which this was actually a song off of Lil Nas X's album Montero. I don't really feel like it has a place on this album. Elton doesn't sing on it, he plays the keys, but he does that kind of minimally, not like he does on the Nothing Else Matters cover. This wasn't my favorite track off of Montero anyway. I get his reasoning for putting it on here, but to me it just feels a little out of place. Without it being a remix featuring Elton more heavily than the prior version, I could have done without it on here. We then get a rock-infused track called E-Ticket. This one is a collaboration with Eddie Vedder. There's some great guitar breaks, and Elton is slapping those keys so hard I had to check to make sure that I wasn't sitting in a saloon. But between those moments, the song can feel a little redundant or bloated to me. I didn't like it at first, but it's actually starting to grow on me the more I hear it. It's just not my favorite track. And then we get an absolute bop called Finish Line. I don't mean to be dramatic here, but I would give my life for Stevie Wonder. Why won't Stevie Wonder just invite me over, like for tea or coffee or just to hang out? Like, that being said, this song is flawless to me, and I will fight you over that. I will die on this hill. The backing vocals in Elton's verse kind of send you back in time. The choir on the hook just makes you want to go to church. And Stevie freaking Wonder is on the song, singing, playing his harmonica like an absolute boss. If you catch me in my car punching the roof, crying and singing at the top of my lungs to this song, you leave me alone. I am having a spiritual awakening, okay? We then get a track with the legendary Stevie Nicks called Stolen Car. It has layers. There's something new to appreciate it every turn, between the acoustic guitar twinkling in the back, to the tempo changes, to the various 80s inspired drums and synths. And I've got to be honest, I've never really been a huge fan of Stevie Nicks' voice. In fact, her part at the beginning of this song especially, I don't feel is the strongest, but she shines on the harmonies for the rest of the track, and the good songwriting on this one is just undeniable to me. Then moving into the last track of the project, Elton hops on the late Glen Campbell song, I'm Not Gonna Miss You, and gives us a new variant of it that I really enjoy. While he keeps the bones of the original song, he adds some depth with some new instrumental parts, his own verse, some airy background vocals behind him, and builds to a nice crescendo before letting Glen Campbell finish off the album. So, what do I think of this album? Well, let's run through my list of questions. Oh man, I should have worn my colorful glasses for this album review. It would have made so much sense. Does it vibe? Is this a song you can put on while you sip a glass of Cabernet and wear your fuzzy comfy socks? I dare say it is. I listened to this 5 times yesterday while I was just moseying around my apartment. Does it slap? Is this album worthy of being played when your friend bestows to you the high honor of being keeper of the aux cord on your next road trip? Though this isn't Kendrick Lamar's Humble, a few tracks on this album will definitely make some appearances in my next road trip. Does it break ground? Does it change the game? Will it be legendary? No, but it doesn't have to. He wasn't trying to carefully piece together a groundbreaking concept album. This was obviously just a fun passion project with him shaking things up, and like I said before, very few albums will check this box. And last but not least, what's my final rundown of the album, and what's my rating? So what I really love about Elton that really shines through on this album is that he is a fan of music through and through. In videos that I've seen of him recently, like just watching him talk about other artists' music and working with them just brings me so much joy, because he has so much love, respect, and adoration for artists of every genre and age. To us, he is an absolute legend with incredible star power and could very well be pretentious and gatekeep his skills, but he isn't and he doesn't. He fanboys over artists less than half his age. With this project, though sometimes random feeling, Elton pieced together a unique, eclectic album that felt like he just wanted to step back from his legend for a second and explore having fun with people he likes. He even stepped back from some of the songs in an attempt to make them sound less like Elton John. Is it random? Kind of. Is it a thematic, cohesive, purpose-driven LP? No, it's more of a compilation. Is every song a home run hit to me? No, but there are an impressive amount of fresh and cool tracks on here. And that's why I'm giving this album a solid B-. The songs that I like, I am obsessed with. I mean, a few of these songs will be abused. And if some tracks were tweaked, removed, or the album was somehow pulled together to feel a little more cohesive, I would have ranked it higher. But the fact is, that's not what this album is. Elton made this album exactly what he wanted it to be, and I'm sure he loves it, so that's all that matters. So what do you think? What's your favorite track? Is it a bop or a flop? And what projects are you looking forward to that you might want to see me review? I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Be sure to hit the like button, help me out, share this with a friend, hit subscribe if you want to see more. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline that I want to review. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you very soon. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a good day.